Well, how's everybody doing? We are headed out to the shop this morning, me and Axel. Well, now we got the 48 out of the way. Be a good time now to start in on that Bronco. Now that everything else is kindly out of the way, we can get to it. I've got all the parts now. And as you can see here, I have the motor on a stand, got the heads on it, and I've got that timing cover over it now, and I've got the original intake sitting on it now. None of this is bolted up, there's no gaskets or nothing. The motor's just mocked up for paint. So that is the order of business today, will be to get that engine painted so we can start reassembling it. And to do that, we have all these parts for the engine right here. And you can see in that oil pan, yeah, what that looks like. The old valve covers, water pump, so on and so forth. This stuff here's got to be really clean. This dipstick is stuck, can't get it loose, so we're gonna have to work on that. So in this video, that will be the goal, and the goal will be to get those parts cleaned to where they can be installed on the engine and the engine gets painted. That's the goal today. I feel like if we make it that far, yeah, we've done a tremendous amount. The fuel tank situation, the one they sent me is for 86 and up, which would have been fuel injected. So in that fuel injected tank, you have quite a bit bigger sending unit. The carbureted engine like this one from the factory, sending unit hole is only about like that, and I'll show that. That will be the secondary order of business right there, will be to get that tank. That's a real pain in the butt, because you know you got to pay shipping back on the tank and all this hoopla. So I think I want to go in a different direction, but we're going to get the old tank drained and take a look at it, and then also take a look at the new tank, and we'll figure out what we're going to do there. But right now we're going to get these parts cleaned. I'll show you how we're cleaning those, how we do it here, and show you what they look like after they're cleaned, and then we'll talk a little bit about the block and start painting on this block a little bit and get it cleaned up. So you ready to get this show on the road?
Yep.
Alright, well that's where we're going. Cleaning this stuff's how we get there, so let's get busy with it. Here we go. Alright, so we're into cleaning these valve covers now. This is the one that come off of it. You can see it's pretty cruddy. What the outside looks like. It's got some spray paint. I mean, look at this down in here. And this is the one we just cleaned right here. So these things will clean up really nice. I went ahead and sanded down some of the outside. Now, I'm not going to repaint these, and I'm not going to buy a new one. I'm going to take these to Ted, and he'll powder coat them black, and we'll, you know, paint that block, the black valve covered air cleaner. Look really good. I just want to get most of that off. Makes it a little easier on him when he throws it in his sandblaster. So I done this one here, and you can see it cleaned up really nice inside and out. This one, after watching me, it's your turn, mister.
Yes.
Let's see how clean you can get this one here. See if you can get it as clean as mine.
Okay.
Because right now, all we're trying to do is get these where we can set them on that engine to cover the head so we can paint. This one here is ready to set on there. I'm going to let him get this one here ready to go, and then we'll put them on there, and then we got to get the oil pan, which that's going to be a devil, that oil pan, because it is really bad. So we've got to get it cleaned up. What I hope to do is get those parts on the engine, get it painted today, get the rest of these parts on our makeshift table so we can assess what we have and start cleaning all them. I'd like to put this block together next week, is what my plan is, or you know, hoping anyway. So we'll let him get started on his valve cover, and then we'll come back and see what he can do. What he's doing now is he's spraying a little bit of that cheap brake cleaner in there, and he's just breaking up all that scrub with just a, you know, cheap wire brush. And he'll get all that, as much of it as he can on this run, broke up, and then he'll pour it out and wipe it out, and then start over again until we get all this crud. And this one here, it's bad. I mean, you can tell that this motor and this truck have been sitting for a really long time. So we're going to finish this right here. I'll let him get this poured out and wiped out, and we'll see what this first brushing and how much of this stuff we get cleaned out of here on this first go. Then we'll start over again. Not easy, is it?
No.
A lot of crap, ain't it?
Yeah, a lot of it.
I've got the one valve cover on this engine now, and it's starting to look like a motor again for the next minute. I don't think we'll have any problem getting this stuff cleaned up today and getting it painted. The one thing that I am going to do with that oil pan, because it is so cruddy, I'm going to take it and put it in my oil drain bucket and put some gas down in it and let it sit for a little while, then pour it out and start to wipe that oil pan out and clean it up. And I'll probably sand it completely down on the outside, because I'm going to paint it black too, and or blue. It'll probably be blue. The rest of the whole engine, what I'm thinking, is blue. Valve covers, air cleaner, stuff like that will be black on it. A little bit of a different look. A lot of people are doing the black right now. I think it's easier to keep clean, personally, why I'm doing it. But I really like the look of a blue motor and with a black accessory on it. So, and I mean, everything on this truck's got a lot of stuff going back on it. You know, you've got air conditioner and all that stuff I want to put back on this truck. So, you know, all that'll be black. So I think all the belt and the pulleys will be black on the blue block, and you know, I think it'll look really good, but we'll see. All right, he's spraying that out, and as you can see, he's starting to really come clean now. It's going to take another 10-15 minutes, but he's really getting her now. And it's just a slow, monotonous process when you're doing this stuff. You want to be real thorough though, especially when you're dealing with a brand new engine. You want to be as thorough and clean as you possibly can. You're about to get this one. That way he don't have to spend, you know, an hour with them things in the sandblaster. He can probably just run them over pretty quick, maybe 15-20 minutes in the sandblaster, wipe them down, and they're ready to powder coat. I don't want to take him a bunch of crap, you know, that ain't cool. So it's helping me out with that. So we're going to get these things nice and clean, and that oil pan. Now I've been working on that oil pan while he's been over there. Yeah, you can see it's getting there, but man, oh man, that oil is sitting there for years and got hard and got really nasty and gummy and corroded. So it's going to take me a little while. I'm using gas. I'd like to use kerosene, but it's not readily available right now, so I'm using gas and brake cleaner to clean that out, and the wire brush, and I'll get it, but it's going to take me a while longer than I thought. But we'll let him finish up that valve cover, and we'll stick them on the motor and see what they look like. All right, here's what we ended up with. Show the inside of it there. That looks really good. Pleased with that. These things were in rough shape, like I said. They cleaned up real nice, and once they're powder coated, they'll look really good. All right, and that's what she looks like right now. But here after a while, she'll be painted up and looking nice. The valve covers, they should clean up and they should powder coat real nice. Like I said, we're not using this old intake. I've got one, a new aluminum, and we'll paint it too. But I've not got that intake yet. It was supposed to be here. Probably looking like Monday or Tuesday, I guess. But it's okay, I'll paint it and then put it on the motor then when we reassemble. That's all good, no problem. But we can go ahead and get the rest of this. And I've got to get this timing cover cleaned up. You can still see old water pump gasket material on here. Needs to be cleaned, and those jackets in there need to be cleaned real good. A lot of cleaning. A lot of cleaning. Well, I tell you what, this is a job right here, but that oil pan starting to look pretty good. You know, I've got all my contact points just about cleaned up, but we sure don't want to put this on there and then have a leak, you know. So that's the inside. The outside's coming along too. I mean, this thing had really been mistreated and abused, but we're about to get her. We'll have to really clean this thing here for paint. It's man, this is a job. Get that thing clean, I can tell you what. That and them valve covers, that was really, really bad. But we got Cash out here helping me now. Cash. He don't want to talk, he just wants to get busy. So, finish cleaning this up, get some primer on it, and then put it on this. Alright, I went ahead and sprayed just a, you know, flat black on this to give it a good base when I spray the blue, just because it looks so bad. Wow. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would. So if you're wondering what I'm using for my paint, this right here is what I'm using. It's just, you know, Advanced Auto Parts or O'Reilly's engine spray paint. I like this stuff. It does a good job. I've used it many times on a lot of different things, but it flows good and the can sprays good. So, and it normally leaves a good finish. That's what I like to use. That's what I'll use most likely with the blue too. But now that I've got this done, I've got the valve covers done. I've still got a load of parts that still need to be cleaned, but fortunately they're not as important as what I'm doing right now. So the only other really important piece before I can paint the block is this timing chain cover right here. And it's, you know, it's pretty cruddy. It's not near as bad though. Not near as bad as what that oil pan and valve covers were. I still need to clean the pickup tube also. I think I'm gonna put it down in my oil bucket, put a little gas in there and just let it soak overnight, and then it should clean up pretty easy. But yeah, hey, that's a win right there on that oil pan. I'm pretty impressed with that. Pretty pleased with that. And the inside looks really good. The inside cleaned up really nice on that. So yeah, I think we're in good shape. Still moving forward. We're going to get this thing put together here in a week or two. Alright, we got the engine flipped over now, and I've got my oil pan mounted, and I've got my timing cover clean and got it mounted on. I'm not putting this together, you know, I'm just a couple bolts to hold everything together. So I don't want any paint to get inside the block. So I want to get everything clean and ready to go on and just mock this engine up and paint it. Let it dry. I want to put about 3-4 coats on it, let it dry. You know, when the intake comes in, we'll put all that, and then we'll final assemble this engine. But all this stuff was super dirty and it needed to be cleaned. You know, that timing chain cover looks a lot better than it did. So I soaked it and went over it with brake cleaner and steel wool brush and things like that. Now I cleaned up all my edges, you know, where my gaskets will be when I put this back together. You want to make sure that you get those places where the gasket's going to go. You want that super clean. So inching forward to getting paint on this baby. Won't be long. Still got to tape it up a little bit, you know, where the headers go on and stuff like that. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down my water pump and mount it too and tape it back up and just give everything a fresh coat. That way it's gonna look spectacular when we put this back together, because trust me, you don't want to do all this work and then go back and it just looks so. You want it to be eye-popping, you know, especially when you take this much time. So gonna go back slow with it, doing it right, getting it right. Want it to look good, want it to look right when we raise the hood. It's just a slow process, very slow. I've been out all day messing with this. Axel's been out. Bubba's on his way over here to help me a little bit with it now. All right, we're taping off, getting ready to put the first coat of black on. I recruited some help. We about got it taped. We're about ready to shoot that first coat of black, and then we can, once it dries, I'll start with the blue, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like.
And you're gonna let this sit overnight and then put the blue on tomorrow?
No. Probably let it sit the rest of the afternoon, run up the crews in, hang out, come back, put the first coat of blue on tonight, because this flat will dry quick, especially in this heat. And then that way tomorrow, the block already has 2 coats on it. So you need to at least put three coats, if not more, on this. And again, we're going to powder coat these valve covers, so we're not worrying with them. And we're going to put a new intake on it, so we're not worried about that. Make sure we have decent coverage and be ready for our blue. However, I am a fan of black.
You say what?
I am a fan of the black.
Yeah, the black looks good.
Right.
What I was going blue.
The block, the intake, the water pump, everything will be blue except for these. And then will be blue, or them will be black, and the air cleaner will be black.
Okay.
So we'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's blue. All right. So about a week has passed now since we was painting on that Bronco block. So I had to wait a little while. I had to let the paint on the block dry, of course. And then we were waiting on some parts. So those parts are back. Right here's the new intake for the Bronco. And we got those powder coated valve covers back from Ted. And look how beautiful these valve covers are. Look at that. It's absolutely amazing. You did a wonderful job. We really appreciate him doing that for us. And here's the other one. I mean, wow. These are the stock valve covers, come off the engine. Just had them powder coated. So let's unbox that intake, take a look at it. You know, I told you I was going to buy the cheap Amazon one. That's what I did. So let's get it on the table. Let's take a close look at it and see how good it is. And then potentially we'll paint it and we'll finish this video up, because it's been a week now since I've been painting, trying to, you know, get this block ready to put together. So let me get that intake over here on the table, come right back, and we'll we'll unbox it, take a close look at it. Alright, so here's the intake. Straight from Amazon. Trying to find the part number on here. Well, right there's the brand. You can see that. Box looks pretty rough. Not impressed with the way the box came, but that's not exactly the manufacturer's fault. Well, here's what we have. It is, it's pretty nice. Has a nice finish on it here. The threads feel good. The machining is extremely smooth on this, and not bad on the inside either. These holes look really good. Flip it over and look at the back side. Hey, look at that. You can see my reflection in that. The machining's really good on this. Hey, it's really clean. Off in the ports, looks really clean. The only thing I can say is maybe like right up in this one here, it could stand to be just a little bit slicker inside, but overall, for $140, I say this is a win. And here's the old intake. We need to look and make sure that it's got an indentation for that distributor. It does. Right here. We'll throw it up on that engine and test fit it and see what it looks like. Sitting on the engine, it looks good. I'll give it that. It looks good sitting up there. I said I was going to paint this intake, but I don't know. It looks too good. I don't know if I can paint it or not. But aside from that, on a more important note, right here, I don't like this. You can see right here, the fitment. I mean, with a gasket it might be okay, but man, I don't know. I don't like this fitment right here. Everywhere else it seems to fit really good. Now this intake is quite a bit different from the original intake too. The fitment back here is the same as the front. Look right here. I don't know about all that. Of course, it may pull down. He put all the bolts in it. I don't know. I'm gonna let somebody else take a look at it. I'm gonna put the voice on it and see what he thinks. This may be a go or it may be a no. I don't know. You can see right here, it's really similar to the original intake. That one is a higher lift intake. Looks like we have all our vacuum ports are in a few different places. You see vacuum port here, here, and here. On this one, looks like you have vacuum here and here, which would be okay because you've got them here, so that's right. And then this back one, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I've got one here. I got one here and maybe even one right here. So that's probably good. This unit right here is a little bit different. This unit here, on the original you only have 2 bolts here, but maybe this is for, you know, you could change or swap this around some way. Overall, the intake, you know, machining, and it looks great, but those fitment issues. I don't know. Looks like the notch is okay for the distributor, but right here, that really bothers me. I don't know. Now you can really see it right there. And back here is about the same. Right, you can see that gap. I don't know. You'll let the voice look at it, see what he thinks. Like I said, you put all the bolts in it, tighten it down, put a gasket up under it, maybe fine, maybe not, we'll see. But just for looking at this right here for 140 bucks, this looks good. I'm quite impressed with the machining on it. Down inside here looks good where it matters, and the outside appearance is, you know, beautiful. I really like the blue with that, so I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. We'll see. We'll put the voice on it and see what he says. Alright, after consulting with a couple of friends of mine, I believe we're going to run with this intake. They're convinced that these little gaps that I'm kind of worried about, that they'll seal right up with a gasket and some sealant. So we're going to give it a shot. Now, you know, originally I'd said I was going to paint this intake. Well, I've changed my mind. I just can't bear that it looks too pretty. So I'm going to have Mr. Ted powder coat that clear, and that way maybe it'll be a little easier to keep clean. I mean, he's done a fabulous job with these valve covers. I can't say enough good things about how these valve covers and stuff turned out. He's got the air cleaner for it now, so I'm going to drop that off with him and let him powder coat that, and then we're going to go ahead and start reassembling this engine on the next episode, because that intake's really the last thing to go on. So I'll just go ahead and drop that off with him, and we can go ahead and put all the gaskets in this and get it, you know, ready to go and start getting it put together, because we've got to get that Bronco out there in here on this lift. So the next videos will either A, be putting this engine together, or B, will be washing and disassembling the Bronco. I'm gonna go ahead and take the grill, bumpers, all the lights out of it, and that way it'll be a little easier to put the motor in, plus it'll be a lot easier when I have to tape it up to paint it. So that's next, either taking that apart or assembling that engine. But either way, we're going to get to it in the next couple of videos. And I guess, hey, that'll do it for getting this engine painted on this video and getting it cleaned up and getting everything ready. So yeah, we're moving right along with that Bronco now. I don't think it's going to be long. We'll have that baby on the road. Looking forward to that. I know Amanda's looking forward to it too. She's the one that overwhelmingly put me over the top to keep that intake aluminum. So, and at the end of the day, she's probably going to be driving the Bronco more than anybody. So, but it's going to look good going in there. I'm real pleased with the way that the paint and stuff and the powder coat and everything's turned out on this. If you have any questions about, you know, any of the paints that I used, or, you know, any of the methods that I used, always drop it in the comments. I'll get back to you. I try to answer any comment that comes through. So that'll do it for this episode. You guys have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment. Check out our Facebook page. We're always putting on there where we're going to be. You guys have a great weekend. We'll catch you next time on this Bronco build.